I never plan payback, but sometimes peace comes from the smallest buttons you can still control. I'm a 31-year-old mother, and not long ago, I finally walked away from my children's father, a 32-year-old man who had slowly stopped being my partner and quietly turned me into his caretaker. For 6 long years, he didn't work. Not once did he help financially. Not once did he truly help raise our children. Every bill, every responsibility, every sleepless night fell on me. I wasn't his girlfriend anymore. I was his mother, and I was exhausted. About a year ago, things became even harder. His mental health began to fall apart. He started seeing things that weren't there, hearing voices that didn't exist, and accusing me of words and actions I had never said, never done. I begged him to get help, to talk to a professional, to take responsibility. He refused every single time. That's when I realized I had to protect myself, and more importantly, my children. So I planned my exit, quietly, carefully, without confrontation. For an entire week, I moved our belongings into a new place, without him even noticing. He stayed upstairs all day, only coming down to use the bathroom, or to ask me the same question, over and over. What's for dinner? When I finally told him I was leaving, I told him I planned to take the new TV, the soundbar, and the PS5. That's when he suddenly found his voice. He argued that I wasn't allowed to take them out of his house because he had contributed $200 toward a $1,500 setup. $200 after 6 years of nothing. I didn't fight him on it. I already had my children somewhere safe. And honestly, the only thing I truly needed was the Wi-Fi router, so I could set up internet in our new home. I was scared of how he might react, but surprisingly, the separation itself was smooth. Or so I thought. Not long after, he decided to move in a coworker. He's only been working this job for 4 months, and now he's dating her. When I asked for her full name, just for my peace of mind, just so I knew who would be around my small children, he refused. He looked at me and said, "It doesn't matter." And that sentence told me everything I needed to know. Now, this is where the petty part comes in. Today, I discovered something interesting. When I originally set up that TV, I installed an app linked directly to my phone. Through that app, I can see everything playing on the screen. The PS5, Netflix, NBC, anything. And with one tap, I can turn the TV off remotely. It's a small thing, a very small thing, but knowing that I can shut the TV off right in the middle of a COD match or during a football game brings me a quiet sense of satisfaction.
No yelling, no arguing,
no drama, just silence. I figured when he finally gives me the information I asked for, he can have his TV back. Until then, the power button is still mine. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's silent. And sometimes it fits right in the palm of your hand. I grew up extremely close with my cousin Evan, not his real name. We were inseparable so much so that when college came around, we attended together and even shared a room for the entire semester. Back then, I was already heavily involved in Bitcoin and I tried to get him into it as well, though he never showed much interest. I even gifted him a paper wallet, yes, one of those old-school paper wallets, with a significant amount loaded onto it, hoping it would spark his curiosity and get him invested in it. Of course, I kept a copy of the wallet for myself, just in case he lost it, destroyed it, or somehow misplaced it, which, as it turns out, would become very important years later. Over time, our relationship took a drastic turn. Without going into the messy details, the conflict included Evan spreading rumors about me, intentionally attempting to manipulate my girlfriend into becoming his. Shockingly, he succeeded. When I confronted him about it, things got extremely ugly, and Evan showed absolutely no remorse for his actions. After that whole debacle, I cut all ties with him completely, and my parents did the same, severing their relationship with his parents entirely. It essentially split the family in two. Years passed, and I had not heard a single word from Evan during that entire time. I was thriving, living my life, without even thinking about him, and things were going exceptionally well. Then out of nowhere, I received an email from him. The email revealed that he had become a teacher. While he was not doing poorly by any means, he was struggling a bit, especially considering that his third child was on the way and that he and his wife, not my ex from back then, needed a larger home. And now he wanted to know if there was any way to recover the Bitcoin I had gifted him all those years ago, a sum that could now potentially pay for an entire house. As I had predicted back then, he had long ago discarded the paper wallet and had no way to access the Bitcoin. Yet, he was acting as if none of the past conflicts, betrayals, or years of silence ever happened. I didn't hesitate. I had copies of everything, and after hours of searching, I located the copy I had kept. To my satisfaction, the Bitcoin was all still there, not a single Satoshi had moved. I immediately transferred the entire balance into a wallet I controlled long before responding to Evan. When I finally replied, I told him I had no idea what he was talking about and expressed no interest in further communication. Since then, I have received at least one email from him every week. These emails are filled with apologies, justifications, deflections, and everything else you might expect in such a situation. I never respond to any of them, but I keep every single message for my own amusement, watching him scramble, trying to reclaim something he discarded years ago, while I sit back, with full control, has been endlessly satisfying. I keep my circle really small, and my 3 friends are asleep right now, so I just needed someone to talk to. My ex and I broke up at the beginning of last year. I can admit that I rushed into things with him and didn't respect myself enough to walk away in the beginning. He was really sweet in the beginning and would just randomly nitpick at things to be mean to me, and I would yearn for us to be on better terms, and the cycle continued for an entire year. I gained 25 lbs, doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm 4'11", my face was constantly breaking out, and that relationship turned me into someone I don't recognize. I always blamed myself. I've never been in a relationship like that, so it was difficult to understand what was happening right before my eyes. We ended up moving in together. He could never keep up with his bills, and I was about to start school, so it just made sense to me. About 3 days later, I went through his phone because of how unbelievably he was treating me. It took a while to figure things out, but his battery app ratted him out. It said he'd spent 50 hours that week on deleted apps. I knew his Apple password by chance and saw the apps he deleted were all hookup apps, by hookup apps. There was evidence that he'd basically been cyber cheating on me our entire relationship. I actually set him up with someone he'd added on Snapchat. I reached out and asked if they could text him for me so I could understand the full extent of what he was doing. He was begging for nudes and planning a meetup. Words cannot express the pain I felt and the emotions I went through in that moment and for weeks after. When I finally confronted him, he tried to guilt-trip me, saying that he went through trauma as a child and that made him do what he did, and that he was just bored, not gay. We still had to live with each other months after, and he would randomly pick fights with me, leave the house disgusting, and eat my food. I never felt safe when I was home. Anyway, he ended up randomly terminating the lease mid-semester and gave me a couple of weeks to find a place. I was living in a state alone, 1,000 miles away from family, and I'm not close to them anyway, so they wouldn't help me much if I were close. He knew this. Thankfully, I had been saving up in case that happened, and my friends are amazing enough to care so much for me and help me out. I've always been someone who prided themselves on turning the other cheek, but what my ex did to me hurts so much. He cheated on me our entire relationship with men, women, and who knows who else had a full-fledged porn addiction, treated me like shit, put me through so much pain during and after. I blame myself a lot because I should have walked away. There were so many red flags, and I ignored them all. I've been trying to heal, and I've just been left with this anger that I can't ignore. I've journaled, talked about it for hours, even talked to my school counselor a few times. I'm still angry. It's not even the gay part. I told a guy I was in a talking stage with about my ex, and he went on a homophobic rant comparing gay men to demons, and that was our last conversation. I have nothing but love and respect for the LGBTQ community. The thing is, he hid it and spent every night endlessly begging for nudes from men, while he used me as an outlet for the pent-up anger he had because he wanted to be with men. Today, I sent him a video on TikTok of a woman saying that the reason a man is being evil to you is because he's mad you don't have balls for him to play with. I said, "Reminds me of you." I shouldn't have, but I just felt like the reason I was so angry is because I treated him with too much respect after things were said and done. He sent me a video of him having sex with a woman, and I asked if she knew he was gay. He called me miserable, and I told him I was just mad that he was able to not face any consequences for what he did to me, and I'm done turning the other cheek. I told him that I showed his ex everything that I found in his phone, and that I know he did her the same way. I didn't. I just assumed, and I wasn't wrong, I guess. I told him I'd be sending everything to his family, including the video he sent me today. I would pay to see his reaction. He used to throw bitch fits all the time, and I would pay to see the one he threw tonight. Sorry if this is all over the place. I celebrated with a glass of wine. I can honestly say that I feel so much better. It was my first time retaliating against someone, and I feel like I enjoyed it a bit too much. I don't really plan on outing him to everyone, but I'm glad that he can sit with that anxiety, especially because he threw the fact that his family actually cares about him, unlike mine, in my face during one of his random attacks 2 days after my birthday. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more real-life Reddit reality stories from the USA every week.